started. We'll have the prayer followed by the pledge of allegiance.
Father God, we thank you for your kindness in bringing us all together today. Though we may not know what this meeting holds, we know that you do. As we begin, Lord, help us to keep your word in mind. Lead us into conversations that are fruitful and enrich the lives of those who are here today. When we are undecided, please lead us in your wisdom. When our opinions may disagree, help us to remain respectful to one another. More than anything, Lord, would you help us both to seek your will and to pursue your glory through all that we say and do. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, call the meeting to order for agenda business. Public comment.
No public comment.
Minutes from our August 17th meeting.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the August 17th meeting as submitted.
All right, motion on the floor is to approve the minutes from our August 17th meeting as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Reports, Phyllis? Anything from 911?
Yeah, just got a couple things. Right now we have two of the water buffaloes in use. One is at Colton School. The other one is out at Ravel's campground. They're having water issues. And we're gonna check back first a week and see if they're done with them, bring them back to the office up there. Actually been pretty good to have those and help out different places. So, the pump station up there, I checked with Wayne with Precision last week and the week before. And he shot back an email tagging two of his employees. I'll have them give me the status on it, haven't heard nothing back yet. So I figure probably is either this afternoon or tomorrow, I'll give them a phone call and see where we're at.
Are they building a pump or are they still putting one together, or what are they doing?
The last update I got from him was they were waiting on the control panel.
Okay.
So all the electrical part of it and all that, so.
And then they'll start to
Yeah.
change out.
Yeah. Still working on the generator issue, Rich Mountain, trying to figure out which is gonna be the best route, whether to replace the whole thing or replace parts.
From the storm?
Yeah, from where it got struck. And the tower at the building, we're still in limbo on it, waiting. It's like everything else, hurry up and wait, so. But,
When did we decide on that tower? Did we drop it?
yeah, dropping it down. I guess they're having to rebuild a whole top section for it and
Okay.
all that, so.
And then it should be approved. then.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't
Should
change their
be.
mind again. Alright.
Paying for a second time. Well, this is our second time. We're paying for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Was Peggy at the whole meeting?
No.
Do you wanna give an update on the whole meeting?
Yes, so we got a brief, well, not a brief update, it was like a 2-hour long meeting about the pool on Tuesday. So the new slide has been ordered. They're gonna shorten it about 2 feet so it can fit where we want it. It'll be on the side over by the tables. The cover is being ordered because we have the specs for the slides where it'll need cut out, and hopefully that'll be there before too many leaves start falling. They're looking into all of the leaks and they're hoping to get all of that done by the end of this week, get everything repaired so it can be winterized.
Okay, thank you. Sheriff?
Just a couple of things. We put the last new vehicle you guys bought us, the F-150 responder, went into.
Second
It's the
truck.
second one, yes, and it went into service he picked it up Tuesday evening, it went into service yesterday. And it's marked, with the normal striping for the sheriff's office, and, it's equipped, very well, and you guys will see it out, it's pretty sharp. But
Lance stopped by yesterday and showed them.
it was it was the last one that we got, and, got to all the stuff, we bought all the stuff previous.
Yeah, it's a good looking truck.
So it's sharp looking truck. The Brad's is more,
Subdued.
subdued looking, and, it's nice and shiny, but, his markings only work at nighttime when the lights hit it, it illuminates, so. other than that, wanted to thank you guys for that, and, we're running into some radio issues now with the new hires, with the CSOs and the new deputies. We're short on radio equipment, and we're trying to find replacements or to get stuff, and we're finding that what we have at this point is obsolete, and they don't make parts for it anymore. We can't even buy them. So we're having to look ahead and try to figure out what the next step is on that, and I've submitted some paperwork for you guys to review for maybe next meeting or whenever we can go through, and I'm asking permission to let Peggy go after grant money to see if there's something out there. I understand that's hard to get now, unless we can show.
But
the
if
need
it's
to-
out there, she'll find it.
She'll get it, and if we can show that ours are obsolete and can't be replaced at this point, we may still qualify. Just to buy something and replace it to get something new, they're not funding that anymore. But if we can show need, and I think we can, that ours are obsolete, then the new ones are Wi-Fi compatible. They work in the schools with anywhere around, so that you have service basically anywhere. And I don't really wanna publicize it, but our radio at Mill Creek with our pro officer, we can't talk to him on the radio. We have to talk to him by phone. We have to call him, and it depends on where he's at in the building, whether his phone works either. So, it's a big deal because he could link into their Wi-Fi at the school, and he would have reception the whole time. So it's a safety thing kinda, so we're I've submitted or looking at least 6 right off the bat, just to try to get something moving on it until she can get some grant money.
What radios we using now?
These are a 2500 Motorola. You can't even replace the parts on them, at this point, and, so,
Yeah, I know we wanted to try to update the CAD system there too. Is that funds for that, or grants for new CAD systems for 911? Is that something we could put in the one grant?
Oh, I'm sure there are, but there's a separate grants for radios. I went to a workshop Tuesday, with up at the OM, the Home Security Grant Program. And they talked about the radios and everything Rob said's, correct. You can get them, if you can prove what you have is obsolete, they're not gonna buy them anymore just to replace. But as far as the CAD system goes, I had no interest in that, so I really didn't pay attention to that part.
Well, we're wanting to upgrade that CAD system.
Oh, I guarantee you and Shauna was there too, so,
Yeah, my thing is, I wanna make sure whatever we go with for them will.
yeah, everything's,
Well, it's
yeah.
Motorola
What we
too.
get for a CAD
Yeah.
system.
Yeah, that whole thing is Motorola
Okay.
too, and some of the, radios, the, Kenwoods that we generally kinda went with because they were cheaper, they got shut completely off the siren system for a while because they had a glitch or something wasn't upgraded to where it needed to be with Motorola, so they just shut them off and wasn't letting them put any new Kenwood radios on and things like that. So I think they might have fixed that bug, but still yet, Motorola will talk to Motorola before Kenwood will
Yeah.
talk to Motorola. So anyway, just keeping you guys informed on that stuff.
Alright, thank you. Is there any update like on what happened at Elkins High?
We're still investigating that, and, I can't release a whole lot of information on it at
So
this
are
point.
you the lead, are we the lead investigating on it, or?
Yes, yeah, we, task force has kicked in on that too, and I really don't wanna say anything much more about that, but we are working on it.
Alright,
Everybody's safe up there, there's no issues, I've seen
Just-
stuff like that.
just had some questions, people.
Sure.
Brenda?
No.
Alright, correspondence, we had a letter from Valley Head Community Center thanking them for, the funds we've allocated for them for this year, so we appreciate, them for what they do up there at Valley Head. Announcements, our next meeting will be September 21st, if you believe it or not, 1:30 here. And then, announcements, and that's it. So items for discussion, I'm gonna let, Mr. Seiler take it over from here.
First one would be an informational presentation from the WVPSC regarding Harmon and Whitmer water systems. Do we have somebody here for that?
No, they contacted me on Tuesday. Mr. Fowler wasn't able to attend due to scheduling conflict.
Okay, we're gonna reschedule that then. Okay,
And then y'all make a motion to table item A on the agenda.
okay. We have, you just wanna make a motion to reschedule then, or?
Yeah.
Okay, make a motion to reschedule, item A on the agenda for today. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed, nay? Ayes carried. Consider approval of funding request from Elkins Volunteer Fire Department.
We received a letter, from the fire department. Each year we give them, $1,500, for the Forest Festival Fireman's Parade.
Okay.
So they're looking for that for this upcoming year. They provide food for roughly 200 to 300 firemen and trophies and awards and such, so that money will go towards that.
And if you want to feed law enforcement, firefighters, all the first responders go down there.
So did you get some free meals when you were?
Yes, I did.
All right, just making sure.
You wanna take it out hotel motel since it's festival?
Yes.
Alright, motion is to approve funding request in the amount of $1,500 to be taken from hotel motel for the Elkins Volunteer Fire Department, Forest Festival Fireman's Parade. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion carries. Consider approval for funding requests from Leading Creek Fire Department, Branson Henry, you here today? Oh,
He is not. So I am.
that's you today?
That's the thing.
Oh, well, I'm not sure where he's at. I think he's in a meeting, so Brooke said I could represent. I wasn't sure. I'll just read the letter. It says Leading Creek Volunteer Fire Department and its members are requesting assistance in the purchasing of 16 SCBA self-contained breathing apparatus and 16 spare cylinders to equip their fire engines. The current SCBAs are out of date to meet the NFPA standards and the state sets forth, including, I included a quote from Atlantic Emergency Solutions. The total is like $125,660. So they're asking for any help to assist in making the purchase. And this is thank you for your time. So I know they've been working on it and trying to do different things. So they were just asking for help to go towards those.
We've been approached by, other volunteer fire departments. I think Colton was the first one. And, we decided, that we would.
We'll try to help every fire department as much as we can right now,
Okay.
Then we helped
as
out
needed.
the old Mill Creek already too, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, Valley Head approached me the other day about it as well.
Once you do one, they're, wanted to treat everybody the same.
Okay. Do you know the amount or, okay?
The total request is $125,660, correct?
Yes, that's what they have in the letter, yes.
Okay.
We, I think it's 14.9 is what we've given the others, and that's
Okay.
that buys 2 sets, right, wasn't it?
I believe
I
it's
apologize,
two.
I don't have the quote in front of me.
I think it's 2 or 3, wasn't it?
I think it's at least 2.
Okay.
And then we buy 2 masks or the units that they need for each fire department.
Okay.
We
Can
got a
I,
motion?
So moved. So moved.
Okay. Motion was approved funding request from the Leading Creek Fire Department in the amount of $14,900 to be taken from courthouse contractual. All in favor, aye? Nice carried, motion carries.
Alright,
I'll
thank
get
you
that
guys
right in a
very much.
minute, as soon as I get it right.
Okay.
Item D, consider approval of new hire for Randolph County Assessor's Office. Phyllis?
Did, a commissioner from Jefferson County call you today?
No,
You'll be getting a call from a commissioner from Jefferson County. She called yesterday evening to talk to you.
okay.
The gentleman that you were dealing with, the TIF,
Mhm.
she wants his name and contact information.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There's a couple of those, but, yeah, okay, I can talk to her.
Thank you. I told her I'd text you and I forgot.
That's okay. She'll call me.
Mhm.
Okay, so I am asking for approval to hire Danielle Hartley to fill a full-time benefited clerk's position in my office. Ms. Hartley will start in my office on Monday, September the 11th, so that her training can start right away. Her hourly wage will be $12.83 an hour, and she will receive all benefits. She will be paid from my regular county budget, and I already have money in the budget for her salary because this is not a new position. This is I'm filling an open position that is in my office.
Who are you replacing? Mrs. Hart?
Stephanie Simmons
Okay.
is leaving my office to go back to nursing school.
Very good.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the hire of Daniel Hartley to a full-time benefit clerk position in Randolph County Assessor's Office. And her hourly wages will be $12.83 and will begin work on Monday, September 11th, 2023. A standard 9-day probationary period.
Okay. Motion on the floor is to approve the hiring of Daniel Hartley to a full-time benefited clerk position in Randolph County Assessor's Office with an hourly wage of $12.83 an hour. And she will begin work on Monday, September 11th with a standard 90-day probation period. All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Motion
Thank
carries.
you. Drop work meeting's looking really good.
Thank you, we think so too.
You guys done a good job there. A lot of hard work.
The last of the roof was going on yesterday, so
Oh, that's good.
still have to do the floor, but
I haven't got a chance to swing over by and we've put 200 miles on the Harley this year at this. We haven't even had a chance to take a ride out through there and take a look, see
boy,
what you've
it's
done.
looking good.
So we're gonna have to go out there and take a look before too long.
We were out there by on Sunday
Yeah,
and looked, yeah.
I'm good. Item E on here, consider approval of new hire for Randolph County 911 Center, Shauna Fox. Shauna, you checking?
Not for the better.
Not for the better.
Alright, this is requesting approval to hire Christopher Weimer as a telecommunicator trainee. It's a full-time position with county benefits and probationary period of 6 months. Starting pay at $12.86. They'll begin work on September 11th. The current budget covers his wages. We did his interview last week. Sergeant Burge sat in on it with the 911 advisory board. He gave him thumbs up, said he think he'd be a good fit, and background come back good and everything, so.
They haven't any trouble with them backgrounds anymore. They're getting the hang of them.
Yeah, we streamlined as best we can, we haven't been having any issues.
He used to work in corrections, so I mean, he's familiar with, law enforcement side and stuff like that, so.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the hire of Christopher Weimer, full-time telecommunicator trainee with the starting salary of $12.86 per hour and full county benefits and on a 6-month probationary period.
Motion on the floor.
When they start in September 11th.
11th, Monday.
Starting date September 11th, 2023.
Alright. September 11th, 2023.
Yes, sir.
Sorry about that. Motion on the floor is to approve the hire of Christopher Weimer as a full-time telecommunicator trainee with a starting salary of $12.86 per hour and full county benefits. 6-month probationary period will also apply, with a start date of September 11th, 2023. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion carries. We got, consider approval of a wage adjustment for 911 Center. Robert?
Alright, this will be for Nicholas Harris. He is now out on the floor, partnered up with someone, he's standalone telecommunicator, doing great. So looking, let's see, Sean is wanting to bump his wage from the current wage of $13.25 up to $13.97. Begin on the pay period of 9/4 of 23, and his wages are covered by the current budget.
What'd you say his current was?
Current is $13.25, wanna move him up to $13.97.
Alright, got a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the wage adjustment for Nicholas Harris from $13.25 per hour to $13.97 per hour, as he is now a standalone telecommunicator. Can I just go with that, Nicholas pay period?
So increase begin on pay period of 9/4 of 23.
Okay.
So we put this
Pay
pay
period,
period.
in 9/4/23.
Motion on the floor is to approve the adjustment for Nicholas Harris, the 911 center from his previous previous wage of $13.25 an hour to $13.97 per hour, as he is now a standalone telecommunicator and off training, correct?
Yes.
Starting with the 9/4/2023 pay schedule. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Rob.
Yep.
Go to G, on the agenda, consider approval of appointment for Randolph County Unsafe Buildings and Lands Enforcement Agency. They expire at the end of August. I guess the reappointment is to reappoint Ray Lamore Jr., J.W. Jones, Peggy Young Ross, Keith Brown, Rob Eldon, that's Bodine, Samantha Bodine.
Pardon?
And John Hempel to the Randolph County Unsafe Buildings and Lands Enforcement Agency beginning
Samantha.
immediately and ending August 31st of 2024.
Is Samantha Bodine, is that,
Yeah, that's, okay.
Have a motion?
I'll make a motion to reappoint Ray Lamore Jr., J.W. Jones, Peggy Young Ross, Keith Brown, Rob Elvin, Samantha Bodine, and John Hempel to the Randolph County Unsafe Building and Lands Enforcement Agency beginning immediately and ending August 31st of 2024.
I think they're for 2-year terms.
I think it, Lamore and J.W. are good for 2 years.
Everybody's expires at the same time.
It's all 2 years.
I
Did
don't
we
think
change
I don't think it was on the staggering.
I can't remember.
The
I looked
members
at
at
that thing
large are
100
1
times.
year.
Oh, the members at large are 1 year, okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think the two,
The others are
which
2.
ones were for 2 years? Everybody but,
Everybody
Everyone
except
else.
those 2.
everybody
Okay.
but J.W. Lamore, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that would put, J.W. and Lamar until August 31st of 2024, and then everybody else until August 31st, 2025, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Make
oh,
an amendment to it.
yeah. Alright, so, the motion on the floor is to reappoint, Ray Lamore Jr. and J.W. Jones, to the Randolph County Unsafe Buildings and Lands Enforcement Agency beginning immediately and ending August 31st of 2024. And to reappoint, Peggy Young Ross, Keith Brown, Rob Eldon, Samantha Bodine, and John Hempel to the Randolph County Unsafe Buildings and Lands Enforcement Agency beginning immediately and ending August 31st of 2025, as their term carries of 2 years. All in favor? Aye. Alright, motion carries.
I just like to say thanks.
You're welcome.
You're on there
He's better
regardless.
now.
You don't really have to be appointed. You're on there.
Did you notice we never had anybody leaving that until, Fowler got put on that board? He scared them all
Well, I'm not saying that them moves weren't a good move.
No comment.
Um,
off. The paper's not here, so we're safe.
H. Go to H, on the agenda, consider approval of resolution regarding Edward Byron Memorial Justice Assistance Grant. Peggy?
Okay. This is the BGA grant. Actually, you already applied for it. You all gave me permission via text. I have a copy of it if you need to see it. I keep all my texts. We did apply for this in the amount of $15,650. The 25% match is $5,217. We are requesting magnifiers for the patrol rifles and pistols for the sheriff's department. It was submitted on 8/31.
Right, so we have to have a resolution for that.
Yeah.
So, here's your resolution.
And then the next one, the J grant, this has not been submitted. The only thing that's been submitted on this is a letter of intent, where we just let them know we intended to apply. The grant deadline will be coming up shortly. But this is for the task force. And basically, the commission would be acting as a pass-through, because what they're asking for is Van Meter's over that, and he and I were discussing this. What they're asking for is overtime pay for the task force of $19,000 for Barber County Sheriff's Department, Upshur County Sheriff's Department, and Buchanan Police Department. They're requesting $19,000 each, which comes to $57,000. There's a 25% match, and I told Van Meter that they, of course, would have to provide their own match.
Those counties,
Huh?
those counties?
Yeah, each one would be expected, I mean, that's what I told him, cause I expected that's what it would be, that they would provide their own match. And you all would simply act as the pass-through for the grant, because you're fiduciary for that task force. So the money would come here, and then we would just send it on out to them.
So, Randolph County doesn't have any overtime in that, just those?
No, he didn't ask for any for Randolph County, he asked for
Okay.
Barber County, Upshur County, Buchanan.
I can chime in on that. That's because the HIDA grant we got will take care of the Randolph County overtime.
Okay.
Okay, we have a resolution for that, what was that one?
Okay. Recommended Preservation Board, you actually, sent me a text and told me that Brenda was wanting to get some labor to get rid of boxes in the old jail and some records and things.
Always just trying to help out. We can get money for it.
Okay, now that grant is also good, there's different categories you can apply for in different departments. Of course, hers will take the personnel department, she will get that, but then you also have, you can request up to $15,000 for record storage for any department, $10,000 for reformatting for any department, $10,000 for equipment for any department, and $5,000 for conservation. Of course, this all has to do with records management and stuff. Okay. Okay, that's those three. You want reports on any more grants I've done recently or anything?
Go ahead, cause, tell me all the money you getting us.
Well, we recently submitted just this year, and have not heard back yet on the TA grant for the front steps. We requested $50,000 just for the design phase. We also requested $50,000 on the rails and trails for Camp Pioneer for their design phase.
Alright, for the first one was, we've been doing upgrades to the courthouse complex. Last year, we tried to get to the steps. We didn't get that, so we're trying again.
Yeah, only this year we're trying, see, last year when I applied for design and construction. And I talked to them down there and they told me that I probably should just apply for the design phase first. And if I can get that, it's a lot smaller amount, and once I get that approved, more than likely, the next one, they will approve the project itself.
Cause if you notice the step, we're trying to get the front steps and the side steps.
Yeah.
For they're all the old sandstone and they're cracking and stuff,
Yeah.
so we're trying to get, cause we met with a company that does that. The guy that did the concrete work for the last
Yes,
sidewalks.
yes.
They had done it at other courthouses where they take them, and they may even have some pieces from other courthouses that they could bring here and use as replacements, so.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we didn't get it last year, so we're hoping to get it fixed this year, cause we've done a lot of work to the courthouse.
Yeah. Recently, we just got another court security fund grant approved for, I believe Rob's gonna get a holding cells, portable holding cells. And the family law court wanted a new glass window for their thing.
Where you got the bulletproof glass?
That's what we got for them, yeah.
No, but I mean for the prosecuting attorney. Alright, next year.
Yeah,
We'll have to pay for it this year anyway.
okay, but do you want that on for the next one I apply
No,
for?
No, we've already
I'm
wanted
just
it.
picking on them.
Okay, we got 2 youth engagement grants this year. One of them we used in the spring to put the mural on the, concession and bathhouse up at the pool. I got a second grant for that to put the mural on the
Pump house,
pump house.
and it's beautiful.
And all those are done and completed, yeah. And those, one of those grants will close, I'm getting ready to close the other one. What I'm working on right now, the grants that are open is the $200,000, grant for demolition, which we had no match with for it. I'm working on an $84,200 recycling assistance grant that is open that we had no match on. And working on the court security fund, which is no match. That's it. Well, ones I'm gonna be looking for is, to cover costs of getting the new judge.
What we're doing there is, we're looking at, the old jail. We're gonna find, the legislature has created another judge for the county, second judge. So it'll be, they'll run next year and they'll take office 2025. So we have to find, office space and such for the new judge. So.
A complete courtroom, complete everything.
So we're looking at, what I wanna do and what we're looking for, grant money. And then we've got some grant money from the tribal grant money that we have, land grant, because we own it. The old county jail, the front part, the first floor, second floor, we can make those into offices. We've already walked it, and we're gonna walk it with an engineer, and redo, cause that's a beautiful old building. No sense in just letting it sit there and rot away. Cause we've looked at other opportunities, like the building next door, but they want way too much money for it, so it can sit there. When we own the county jail, so why not redo that? And possibly move an office out of this building over to there. And then we also have the prosecuting attorney going across the street.
Yeah.
So we have those offices up there that could be just renovated and used for the new judge, so.
But we have to have a separate courtroom, they can't.
Are they,
Yeah,
are they saying we
Yeah.
have to have two courtrooms?
yeah, it has to have, it has to be a completely separate standalone court.
But this,
Yeah.
this room could service as a courtroom. If
You just
not,
have to duplicate what David has.
so, we're looking at a lot of aspects, but one thing that I really wanna do next year is to renovate that old jail. That's my project for next year. We're going to get money, we've got money for it now, we wanna get more money for it. And turn that back into what it was.
David and I looked at that and we was thinking that cell number 1 would be a great office for you to put your stuff into.
Oh, yeah, just put the bars up, yeah, throw away the key.
You have your own
Lock
bathroom and
me in,
everything.
throw away the key, that'd be fine, yeah, yeah. But what I need,
right in your office.
yeah, that's what I need. Maybe we could run a line, I wouldn't even have to get up. What
But that's
I
a-
need to get started with this project is I need a cost of what it's gonna take to set up a whole new courtroom. Do you want me to research, and I can research and find that myself if you want me to, or you want me to do that? Okay, cause it's just gonna be a ballpark figure either way we look at it.
Well, you got a judge and staff,
Yeah.
you got a recorder, and you got
The whole
his whole staff.
second
Yeah.
floor could be their office.
Yeah, there's enough room up there for.
And this could serve as a courtroom for now, you know.
Second courtroom.
You guys could have meetings in the garage.
Well, we only need the first and third Thursdays, so they're just gonna have to work around that.
But wouldn't you want the judge's office by the judge's courtroom?
Well, if we put
Got an
courtrooms
elevator.
upstairs,
Oh, upstairs, okay,
Yeah.
I thought you meant a different
yeah,
building,
we
okay,
put both courts up there, we put both judges up there.
okay,
The commission room could be the jury,
Yeah.
we've got a lot of ideas going on.
yeah, okay.
But it's, where else can we go? We can't go, you know, we're landlocked, we tried next door, they want too much, so.
Yeah. I'm still working on, with Kurt Gaynor on the new building they're trying to do and all that stuff, we're still
And that's
working
where
on
we're
that.
trying to put a new substation out on Porter Ridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they get that land donated to them or?
I don't think they got it donated,
Yeah, the last thing I
was it
heard,
donated?
yeah,
Okay.
he got, there wasn't the original plot of land,
Yeah,
it was the second piece.
different second,
Okay.
second
that,
piece.
That was gonna be donated. It was from, Penn,
In Virginia.
In Virginia.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I
Donated.
didn't realize they did, alright.
And it was an acre, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we'd have room for.
Yeah.
Elevator.
Helicopter,
So they
yeah.
wouldn't have to, you know, goes Mike Ross is letting us use the land across the road.
Are they
So we
still?
can put it
Yeah, they're still
With
using
the-
that anyway.
And with Forest Service, they were going to go there a few years ago in Forest Service and the
I'm not
emergency
sure.
squad.
I don't think it's a cleared off piece of land right now, Kurt said, and he was looking at getting it donated, so then
Yeah.
we would have that, so.
We can check with Kurt on that and see if they got anything on it.
Okay, and I'll be looking for a grant for the new radios for Rob. And also, we still have that potential $500,000 out there for the new humane shelter.
Okay.
Mansion's office has a recommended approval for it, but it hasn't gone any further than that. So we're still in a potential running for that 500,000. And a little bit ago, when the lady was talking about the fire departments, it reminded me, and I haven't done this yet. You all asked me a while back, one of you all did, to put together like a workshop thing for all the fire departments, so at a meeting, we could give them a list of grants that are available to them, what all they can get, so they can be looking in advance for things they might need, know in advance that there are certain grants they're eligible for.
Yeah.
'Cause- And I haven't done that yet, and I apologize, I just remembered when
That might be a
she,
good presentation you take to the fire board.
yeah, that's what whoever told me to do it, told me to take it to get it ready for the fire board.
Yeah.
So I will get back to work on that, I forgot all about it. I think that's it, other than that, I'll be in the office a little bit here, now and then, a little bit more, cause I need to audit all of our files for compliance reasons. For the audit to start around January.
If you could just keep an eye open for possible grants for the new CAD system for 911, I'd appreciate it.
They have grants for CAD systems, but I'm sure is Shauna keeping up on that? Because she,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
You
she's,
ask her, she,
yes, I think she's up to date on that stuff, yeah. Okay, that's it.
all right, so take them one by one.
Okay.
The first one's H.
So we need a motion for the approval of the Edward Byron Memorial Justice Assistance Grant, resolution.
Make a motion to approve the resolution for the Edward Byron Memorial Justice Assistance Grant as presented in an amount of $15,650.
$15,660. Six what?
15,650.
Okay. So the motion on the floor is to approve the resolution for the Edward Byron Memorial Justice Assistant Grant as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Second one would be, need to consider approval of resolution regarding the Justice and Community Service Grant. Can I get a motion on that?
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution for the Justice and Community Services Grant as presented.
Okay, so the motion on the floor is to approve the resolution for the Justice and Community Service Grant as presented. All in favor? Aye. Aye. All right, and then the third one would be to consider approval of a resolution regarding West Virginia Records Management and Preservation Board Grant. Can I get a motion on that?
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution for the West Virginia Records Management. Give me glasses.
What he said.
I make a motion to approve the resolution for West Virginia Records Management as Preservation Board grant as presented.
All right, the motion on the floor is to approve the resolution of the West Virginia Records Management as Preservation Board grant as presented. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
You do it on purpose, bro.
Motion carries.
I didn't write that.
That's all screwed up.
It is.
We'll go to the final, item on the agenda is to consider approval of contract regarding reimbursement deputy wages. Sheriff Feldman?
Sir, yeah, basically, I approached you guys about, putting a generic contract line in our budget and through payroll, so that, the guys, if we're contracting work, sometimes, ball games, Walmart, different places like that, want, a deputy to come in for like, Thanksgiving shop.
Black Friday.
The big Black Friday deal and all that. We've never really had anything set up, for them to be able to do that. And then there's some ethic things that came out too that says they have to work without any county equipment, they have to wear their own gear, they can't wear anything that belongs that the county's purchased, if they do that on their own. So, talked to the auditor's office and some places, and we've got it figured out that if we run it through our payroll, and I just called it generic contract line, that like Elkins High School's gonna go ahead and they're writing a check to the sheriff of Randolph County, it's put in the account, and it's taken out of that line, and, that way, there's taxes, benefits, and retirement all held out of the deputy's wages that way, and it's kosher that way. But the way to do it under the table, basically, I think is how it's been done in the past. They write a check, to the deputy working, or whoever the officer was at the time, and so that's not proper, so we're trying to do it
We
the
wanna
right way.
clarify that none of that under the table stuff has been done.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said under the table. It was contract work, I guess, individual contract work.
We're going to do the contract like state police does when it goes through. the
State police has a
department, and the
contract.
Department pays the deputy.
They escort
Yeah.
these big equipment and things through town. We could actually do that if somebody asked us. We've in the past had a big bike race or something like that they've asked us to cover the last couple of years, and we couldn't do it because we didn't have this contract line set up. So, something I think I asked about it a couple of years ago, and I never pursued it any farther. And it's just getting to the point where we need to do it right and make sure.
Yeah, this way they can use county equipment.
They can use their cruiser, and these guys are on 24/7 anyway. If they're out there and if something happens in front of them, they're right there with the equipment to take care of it. And, that way, you know, there's a little more coverage in the county too, that way.
Yeah, we spoke to the auditor's office, did we not? I mean, we got to make sure everything was clarified and that it was approved through them and how other counties do it as well, so.
Right. There was one
Mark?
stipulation, you cannot, if your kid is playing football, you can't be an officer being paid to stand there
Watch your son.
and watch your kid play. And we're good with that, that was written in, I think it says that in the contract that we presented to you, and so that's it basically.
So this was part of the thing with the auditors, so when we perform our audit, that we have everything.
It's easy to track this way.
Yep.
Alright, can I get a motion on?
I'll make a motion to approve the contract as presented.
Alright, the motion on the floor is to approve the contract presented by the sheriff for reimbursement of deputy wages. All in favor?
Aye.
Alright, motion carries. You would do the final settlements, should we do them, or?
You can. We've got, make a motion to approve the 4 final settlements as presented.
Alright, motion on the floor is to approve the 4 final settlements as submitted. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Budget revisions?
There's only one budget revision, it's an in-house budget revision, it's, my glasses. This is, where we had mistakenly added too much money to the wage line when we did the budget, correct? And we did a budget adjustment prior to, correct that mistake, but the percentage was too high that could go into that line, by $5,000, something like that.
Something, it was close to that.
So we just have to fix that. The most we can put into that line is $390,985. So it's to correct that first mistake that we made. Well, correct, two mistakes that we made. One was that we had put Rob's wages in twice in the budget line, right? So we fixed all of that. But then we put too much money back into that contingency reserve line. So we can only have a certain amount in that line. So this fixes it.
Okay.
For the audit.
So we'll make a motion.
So you have a motion, I'll make a motion to improve the in-house budget revision to, correcting the, budget revision from August the 17th as requested by the state auditor's office.
Our motion on the floor is to approve the in-house budget revision, for the correction of the, wages, but, was it wage line, wasn't it? Wage line budget?
Contingency reserve line.
Contingency reserve line. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries. Division of property erroneous assessments.
One division of property.
And if I may, I would like to address erroneous assessments just a second.
You're right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. First of all, and I think that you all realize, my office writes up the exonerations simply because we have the information. We really are not the authority on an exoneration. We do it because we have the information. The people are really supposed to come to the county commission or to the prosecutor's office. But that makes no sense because you don't have the information. So for years, and this is the way it is in most counties, the assessor's office writes up an exoneration. So an exoneration is a request to revise a tax ticket, okay? So something's wrong with the tax ticket. First of all, I wanna mention, we've had a lot of those this year, and one of the problems that is causing that is our new system. This is the 2023 taxes is the first time we've used this new system. We're getting more used to it, but I knew there was gonna be problems when the tax tickets come out, all 55 assessors did, but we just didn't know what it was until the tax tickets hit. One of our problems was with farm use valuation, even though we coded a parcel as farm use on our system, it didn't value that way. So we had to do exonerations to put that value back to where it was supposed to be. Another problem we're having is that, people are just not filling out their assessment sheets correctly. They trade their vehicle, they put the new vehicle on, they leave the old one on there. So, they didn't have both of them at the same time, they come to our office, we write up an exoneration to take the old vehicle off. Even though it's still on their assessment sheet and it looks like they still own it, if they prove to us that they didn't, then we're writing exoneration. Because code says exonerations can be written when there is a clerical error, either on the part of the assessor's office or the taxpayer. And as, it's supposed to be found in a reasonably, small amount of time, within a year from when the tax ticket went out. And of course, all these are. It concerns me a little bit, the amount of exonerations that we've written. So I want to remind you that it's up to you as a commission to approve those or not approve those. Okay, so there's two specific exonerations I have in this stack this week, or this month that I would want to explain to you. The first one is, custom paving and sealing, and they fill out their blue form and send it back to us. They have what we call rolling stock, which is the big pieces of equipment that can't be valued easily. Rolling stock, we have to, my office, my ladies in my office has to contact the state tax department industrial appraisers because they have a green guide that values that type of equipment. We can't afford to buy that, thousands and thousands of dollars. So we contact the state office in Clarksburg, they send us back a value on that rolling stock. Custom paving and sealing, their rolling stock got valued incorrectly for 2023. And it's hard to get a value on some of those pieces of equipment. And he provided information, that showed what his equipment was insured for at the time, last year, that's what we used. This year, he thought it would be the same as last year, so he didn't provide that information. My girls did what they were supposed to do, contacted the state, got a green guide value, put that on it. So, I've written up an exoneration to put his rolling stock back to where, it honestly should be. But that's an exoneration of $599.28. So that's, one you'll be looking at too. And this other one is Beverly Tie Yard LLC, and they are located in the town of Beverly. They took over Collins Tools. So, they were industrial, so they were done by the state tax department. When they switched over to Beverly Tie Yard, they moved from industrial to a regular commercial business, which meant that we had to take it from the state to do it. So, she inadvertently, added their building values into their machinery and equipment values. She did not, give us an asset list, because had we had an asset list, when my girls looked at it, they would have known right away that that building value should not have been added into that machinery and equipment value. But she didn't provide that in her blue form, so we encoded it just the way it was presented. So then she contacted me and said, hey, I did it wrong, I included the building value, so, can we get it corrected? So I've written up the information on that, I've done crunched the figures to see what that would be, but that is an exoneration in the amount of $14,057.26. So that's a fairly large exoneration. You can always, if you have a concern, and you may wanna check into this, if you have a concern that the exonerations are above normal and maybe, affecting your budget, you could always do a credit till next year. So it wouldn't take it out of this year's budget, it would be, you have to pay your taxes the way they are this year, next year we'll give you credit for that amount of money on your next year's taxes.
Do you have an amount of, because we've done several of these, what we
We have.
exonerated so far?
I do not,
Because that was, money that we've already budgeted, right?
Yes.
We thought that was gonna be there.
yes. Now, I will tell you that, the exonerations, a lot of times when we do an exoneration on a vehicle, like, for example, a vehicle, they didn't have that vehicle. But at the same time, we're making up a supplemental tax ticket for the vehicle they did own. So we might be taking this amount of money off, but we're putting this amount, we're taking that off with an exoneration, but we're putting this amount of money back on with a supplemental, which was money, extra money that wasn't accounted for in the initial values that I gave you.
Mhm.
So,
But all this farm land stuff that you,
well, farmland stuff was about $20,000,
is that what, okay,
yes.
okay.
I do have a figure on it, that it's almost 20,000. So, I don't know if we have a way of figuring up what the exonerations are right now, I just don't wanna I don't wanna get down the road and say, oh, well, wait a minute, we exonerated this amount of money off of this year's taxes.
Mhm.
So, I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Okay.
And I don't know if you want to exonerate this, I mean, the fact that I write it up and give it to you means that I've looked at it and this is the amount of money, but bottom line is you okay it or, deny it if you think it doesn't meet.
But, $14,000 for a small business owner,
Is a lot of money.
Yeah, that's a lot
Yes,
of money.
it is. It is, and they
I
are.
mean, it's a lot of money to us, but it's a lot of money to a small business owner.
It is, and they are small.
And it was a
business.
it's
It was a mistake. Like I said, had she included her asset list, like she gave me later, we would have known that it was building value, but she did not. That's the first time she had done the report for us here in Randolph County. Now, I don't know if they have businesses other places, I think she does those, but, so it was an honest mistake. But it is a $14,000 mistake. So, I just kinda wanted to cover that with you, so that you
We
kind
appreciate it, and we've been,
understood what was, so.
it's been on our radar about, how much money we've had to exonerate, so we appreciate it.
Yeah, well, it has been ours
Because of
too, and we just, and at first,
'Cause this is not common.
well, not this many, and hopefully next year will be better. But we just have to get people in we're trying to encourage people to do their assessment. Get your assessment in on time. Between July 1 and October 1, you're supposed to report. And all the ladies in my office, even if they come in and say, slap it down the counter and say everything's the same, we stand there and go over each vehicle with them, if they're in the office. But if they mail it in or do it online, we don't have that opportunity. So a lot of times they'll turn in vehicles. Well, I don't know that, why'd you put that on my tax ticket? Well, because you had it on your assessment sheet. So I'm trying to encourage people not only to be assessed in a timely manner, but to make sure that your assessment is correct when you turn it in.
All right, thank you.
Okay?
Thank you, Bill.
You're welcome.
All right, so we have, this is the division of property, one division of property, so make the motion to approve the one division, I'll make a motion to approve the one division of property as presented.
Alright, motion on the floor is to approve the one division of property as submitted, all in favor? Motion carries.
And then I
Erroneous assessments.
make a motion to approve the erroneous assessments as submitted.
Alright, the motion on the floor is to approve the erroneous assessments as presented, all in favor? Motion carries. Distressed properties. Do we have any distressed properties? None? You're okay. Fire fee adjustments.
I'll make a motion to approve the two fire fee adjustments as submitted.
Motion on the floor is to approve 2 fire fee adjustments as submitted. All in favor? Motion carries.
Pay the bills.
And we're pay bills.